from a town where most of the people are so close-minded. They go into school and they work in a job, but they don't even like it. I won't be put in a box. Nobody telling me what I should rock. Nobody telling me what I should drop. Cause I do what I want and just know I don't stop.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is my Black Panther review. So we were introduced to Black Panther in Captain America Civil War, and we got a taste of what he's all about. And I think it's safe to say that most people really didn't know much about Black Panther, including myself. Although I have heard about him, and I do have Marvel Knights animated movie that they did, which I thought was really well done. Other than that, I really didn't know much about Black Panther. Same can be said about Captain America, Iron Man, Scarlet Witch, Black Widow, although I did know about Black Widow from Spider-Man the Animated Series. But really, I didn't know much about Black Panther. I thought he was very cool in Civil War. I thought it was a different take on him. And on top of that, I mean, he actually kind of looks like Batman. It's a very different take for a superhero character, especially since he is a leader of a nation. And when the movie was coming out, I wasn't in a big hurry to see it, but I did want to see it, of course. But this is by far one of the best Marvel movies that have ever been made, and I would definitely put it in my top 3. So where I'm fitting that movie in is yet to be determined, but perhaps I will do a later video on my ranking of the Marvel movies. So like all my reviews, I will start off this review with non-spoilers, and then halfway through my video I will do my spoiler review. I will give you a heads up when we get into spoilers. So in Black Panther, first I will say that the characters in this film are major standouts, and not only is T'Challa, who is Black Panther, is one of the best leading characters in this movie. The story and the heart of his character really brings out who Black Panther is, how he's adjusting to becoming the new king of Wakanda. He's taking on the reins of king and adjusting to what it is like to run this nation. And we get to see a character who is, on one hand, very confident and sure of himself, but on the other hand, has a lot of insecurities and is worried whether he will be able to fill his father's shoes on leading Wakanda. There's a variety of amazing actors in this movie. So one actor, Lupita Nyong'o, who plays Nakia in this film, is one of the highlights of this movie. Not only is she a lead female actor in the movie, but her presence is certainly felt. So next we have the villain of this film, and there's actually 2 villains in this movie. One is Andy Serkis, and the other one is Michael B. Jordan. Both giving incredible performances in this film. Andy Serkis, who plays Claw in this movie, is just insane, and almost as crazy as the Joker, I would say. He's not like the Joker, but he has sort of elements of the Joker. But I have to talk about Michael B. Jordan and his performance as Killmonger. Now, like I said, I'm not familiar with the Black Panther universe. I wasn't familiar with most of Black Panther's villains, especially who Killmonger was. And we got some insight on who and what motivates Killmonger. Now, obviously, I won't talk too much about him in the non-spoiler review, but I will in the spoilers. And man, I have to say that his performance is just knocks it out of the park. I would say he's one of the best Marvel villains that we have seen in a long time. And Marvel, unfortunately, has produced a very small amount of developed and just very good villains. I would say that he is among the very few, like Loki, Zemo, Vulture, and hopefully Thanos, which I hear that Thanos is going to be, he is so-called labeled the Darth Vader of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So Killmonger is in that group, and he's probably one of the top guys. He is the most personal villain that there is. He's coming from a very personal background, and there are a lot of elements of his character and his beliefs and his motivations that a lot of people can relate to and actually can support him in his motives. He takes these motives, twists them, and takes it just too far. And that's where you stop as an audience member supporting him, and which makes him a great villain. The Black Panther universe is rich. They've really spent a lot of time building up this universe and what Wakanda is and the culture and the characters. And I will say that they did an amazing job at creating this universe. And this movie is a movie on its own. It does not need support from other characters. The story is, in my opinion, is very captivating. This movie, just from the beginning to the end, is just a freight train that just zooms by, and it's one thing after another. The pacing goes very well, and the story is very rich. Now, I will say that there is some elements of the story that I think could have been done better. The movie definitely has a lot of political and social messages in it, and essentially it's probably the most political and social movie out of all the MCU movies. But at the same time, because they want to please the casual audience, the movie is dumbed down in some ways, which we get some cheesy moments, and they just scale down the severity of the issues that they're trying to promote or bring awareness to. And that's really unfortunate for people that are intellectually aware and look for an intelligent movie and story that they can relate to. Unfortunately, because of the short attention spans of a lot of people and people that just don't get it, they have to dumb down the story in order to please their needs. A friend of mine told me about his point of view of the movie, and he really didn't like the movie too much, but he threw some points at me that they could have done this differently and that differently in terms of the story and the political side of it, and I thought that those points that he brought up would have made this a way better movie. And I just wish that Marvel would take that chance to do that. Just like Batman v Superman was a very political movie. Unfortunately, not a lot of people like that movie, and I think that one of the reasons is because it just was too slow for people. And the politics of it, I think, was just a little too much for people. And I have to give Zack Snyder a lot of props for making that movie. But this isn't about Batman v Superman, this is about Black Panther. So, with that all being said, I thought the story was solid. I thought it could have been done better, but I think overall it was a decent story. And the characters are like, you really fall in love with the characters in this movie. The pacing is excellent. It's just an overall enjoyable film. So overall, I'm going to give Black Panther a 9.5 out of 10. So now we're going to get into spoilers, so you've been warned.
10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So one thing that I really didn't see coming was the death of Andy Serkis in this movie, the death of Claw. And just the way he went out with Killmonger shooting him. Had no idea that that would happen. I thought initially that Claw would be the main villain of this film, but with that being said, maybe he wasn't the right type of villain to have. Not to get into too much racial stuff, but there may be some stuff to say about a white villain and a black superhero. You can put whatever you want into that statement, but maybe it would have backfired if they did that. Although I wouldn't want Marvel to hold back because of the color of somebody's skin to making them into a villain. But I think the right choice was to make Michael B. Jordan Killmonger, the villain in this movie. Andy Serkis gave an amazing performance. I thought that interrogation scene was awesome, especially when he's singing and he's laughing and he's just being totally Joker-esque and over the top. I thought that was great. And actually, I actually didn't want him to die in this film. Even if he, got thrown in jail or got knocked out or something or got lost in this film, I would have been fine with that as long as he could come back at another point. I really think that he would have been a very powerful villain. Probably he could have been one of the best in that small group, as I said. But they killed him off, and that's unfortunate because I think that he would have been a great villain going forward. Let's talk about Michael B. Jordan. Amazing performance as Killmonger. I love the whole story, the background story, that his father was killed by the Black Panther, and it was sort of the secret, and he was left orphaned, which he grew up in America and saw a lot of the discrimination and oppression, and grew up with this chip on his shoulder that he always had to fight for what he needed, and the discrimination that he saw. It really formed his character. I really liked the scene when he was a child, discovering his father had been killed, and the emotions that he had, along with, and total surprise, that he takes over Wakanda. Some people saw it coming, but I thought that was a great twist to have him the ruler of Wakanda. Amazing, great way to, great twist to the movie. And then he had that dream sequence, or passed into another dimension or reality, whatever you want to call it. And that exchange that he had with his father, I thought that was really nice, a really nice touch. And they've been humanizing him throughout this film, where he carries a lot of anger from what's happened to him, and he's told that he just has too much anger and he's not fit to be king. When you've been wronged and you've been mistreated, revenge is not the answer. He's a very angry character. He's been hurt, and he ultimately wants justice. And he's doing it the most violent way he knows, because that's all he knows is violence. I thought that was a very intellectual and emotional way to look at it, of coming from that point of view. Which, if you've never been mistreated and you've never been bullied and you've never been a target of abuse, it's hard for those types of people to relate to that perspective. This character has a good side and a bad side, and his intentions are good, but his motives are bad. This movie is filled with great characters and acting performances in the movie. Forrest Whitaker is one, Winston Duke, Florence Kusamba. Let's talk about the ending of Black Panther. The death of Killmonger. Now, they have this awesome fight. He takes over Wakanda, turns everybody against each other until reason dictates that this all comes to an end. Now, when Black Panther fell off a waterfall, I knew he wasn't dead. I mean, everybody knew he wasn't dead, because they're not going to kill off Black Panther in this film. When they rescue him and he comes back to try to save Wakanda, and they have this battle of the tribes, I thought that was really cool, of Killmonger splitting up Wakanda and turning everybody against each other. Ultimately, T'Challa returns to unite everybody again. They have this huge fight. Part of me wanted him to live. He's such a good villain, and I loved what they did with him. With that being said, I think that his death was needed in this film, and really, where could his character go after this? I mean, they might have some different stories they could use with him, but ultimately, I think that his death better served the story. So we saw at the end of the film that T'Challa is opening up some reach-out centers in the U.S. and wants to put Wakanda out there for people to be aware of and to be inspiration. And then we see in the 2 extra credit scenes of Wakanda T'Challa is alerting the UN of the existence of Wakanda, and they're offering their resources to help the world. And finally, at the end, we get to see Bucky, and he's back now. Looks like he's been treated, and he is out of the frozen chamber, and he's ready to go. So guys, overall, I really enjoyed this film. One of the best in the MCU. We could have improved this movie with making it more in-depth, but overall, I really enjoyed it. One of the best villains in the MCU, and definitely in the top 3 of the best movies. I give this movie a 9.5 out of 10. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Did you like Black Panther? Did you not like it? Were there things that you wanted to see in Black Panther? Post in the comments below. Make sure that you like this video and hit the subscribe button. And make sure to check out some more of my videos. Keep it locked on the Andrew K channel.
I come from a town where most of the people are so close-minded. They go into school and they work in a job, but they don't even like it. I won't be put in a box. Nobody telling me what I should rock. Nobody telling me what I should drop, cause I do what I want and just know I don't stop.